Everybody wants to see me miss and then the patty goes there, right? Yeah, but it's not gonna happen today. Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're gonna do a Hamburg don with a very delicious Kikkoman soy sauce glaze. Hamburg is just the Japanese way of saying hamburger. It's a hamburger steak on some rice. So usually Hamburg is made from minced beef and pork, but today we're gonna make it out of chicken. So this video actually is to just show you how you make a Japanese meat patty that is nice and juicy. So I'm gonna start by preparing the onions first. Just dice the onion. I like to dice the onions like this because it will give it a little bit of crunchiness inside the Hamburg. But for the garlic and ginger, I like to grate it. So you can grate it any way you like. Every time I use this instrument, people always ask me what it is. It's a Japanese ceramic grater. It's the easiest way of producing 1 teaspoon, just a small amount of grated ginger. When you're using chicken, right? I like to use ginger because the ginger will take away any of the chickeny flavor. 1 clove of garlic. So we got our garlic and ginger grated, nicely grated, and just put it into here together with the onions. So I got some very nice chicken thigh meat. Whether you want to keep the skin on or not, it's up to you. If you keep the skin on, of course, it will be a little bit more tasty. But I'm going to remove them today. I do want a little bit of the oil. So some of you might be wondering, can I just buy the ground chicken from outside? Of course you can. You can. But I prefer to do it myself because you know exactly what you're getting and don't know which part of the chicken they use. So when you do it yourself, it's quite easy. So for this recipe, you don't want it too fine as well, because if it's too fine, it becomes like eating tofu. That's not what you want. You want a little bit of bite. So this is the fun part. This is a sound that I seldom hear nowadays. Last time when I was young, right, I always remember my mom always had this sound in the kitchen because she will do her own minced pork. It's quite therapeutic. Just make sure your hands are here when you're chopping. Push the sides to the middle like this and then continue chopping. Okay, as I said, we don't want it too fine. We're going to put all the chicken meat into a bowl. Of course, you can do this with beef as well and pork. Okay, so we've got our ground chicken. We're going to add in some salt. This is 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to add in our onion, garlic and ginger. Half an egg. N, because it starts with E, right? Okay. This is 1 tablespoon of just vegetable oil. This will give it a bit of moisture. Okay, as you can see, the chicken now is not easy to make into a patty. So the trick is, you want to just use your fingers like this, and you want to just keep going in one direction. And as you do this, the proteins are all going to align and the chicken is going to become more sticky and clump together. And then you make the flesh very nice and bouncy. This is when we add the panko. The panko is going to help to absorb all the extra moisture. And also with the breadcrumbs, right, it's just going to separate all the chicken meat a little bit so that it becomes nice and moist and light. Okay, and then towards the end, just give it a few slaps. See how nicely it comes together, and it's a little bit more bouncy. So now you can easily mold it into your hamburger patties. So when you're making any kind of meat patty, there are a few things that you cannot omit. One is the salt, because the salt will strengthen the protein fibers in the meat. So you can't omit the salt. And then you want to wash your hands and wet your hands. Even put a little bit of oil so that you can mold it nicely. Okay, so this is what the Japanese chef taught me to do. You throw the patties from one hand to the other hand like that. And I'm sure everybody wants to see me miss and then the patty goes there, right? Yeah, but it's not gonna happen today, no. We're going to make it into this sort of oval shape because that's how they like to present their Hamburg. So I asked the chef, why you all have to do this? So he just said, oh, it gets rid of all the big bubbles inside without compressing the meat too much. So you still get a nice airy, tender feel. So you got 3 really nice burger patties. And now it's time to cook it. So before we're going to fry the zucchini, let's get ready the sauce, which is very important for this recipe. And very important is Kikkoman soy sauce. Kikkoman soy sauce, of course, is Japanese. is a naturally brewed soy sauce, which means that it's got only soybeans, wheat, salt, and water. Very basic ingredients, and it's the brewing process that brings out that umami and that very distinct fragrance. So we're gonna have Kikkoman soy sauce. In case you still don't know, right? Have you noticed that the Kikkoman logo, that's supposed to be a tortoise. Kikko means tortoise and man is 10,000. So they chose the tortoise. It's the creature that lives a long life. And what they want to do is to be able to be in business for many thousands of years. And basically, it's 1 part Kikkoman soy sauce, 1 part sake, 1 part mirin, 1 part water, just 2 tablespoons of, I'm using raw sugar today. But if you don't have raw sugar, normal sugar is fine. We're just gonna give this a stir. So this is gonna be the sauce that we're gonna drizzle over the rice. Here we go. We're gonna start the fire. If you're using a non-stick pan, you can go ahead and just put your meat into the pan. But this is a carbon steel pan, so I'm just gonna heat up the pan a little bit, put a bit of oil at the bottom so that it becomes non-stick. Okay, we want to really, just a very medium to low fire. Just add your Hamburg into the pan. The key to this recipe is you need to do it low and slow because you want to have a nice browning on the outside and you want to cook the hamburger straight through, right? If you are using a very high heat, then the outside is going to get burnt before the inside gets cooked. So you want really just a very gentle simmer like this and then take your time to cook them. Okay, here we go. Alright, now it's nice and golden brown. That's the color we want. Look at that, beautiful. Okay, at this stage we're going to add in all the soy sauce. And then we're just going to let the soy sauce cook and then allow the steam to cook the chicken until it's all the way through. Spoon some of the sauce over the meat so that it starts to color the outside of the meat. See how beautiful that is? While the meat is cooking, you can smell that soy sauce fragrance really wafting out. Okay, so the sauce is reduced, it's getting thicker. So we just continue to glaze the top. Hamburg. Okay, you know it's cooked when it's very firm. You see how firm it is now? You can't press it in anymore. The Hamburg is done. Let's construct our Hamburg Dawn. Scoop some rice into these bowls. And then I'm just gonna put the Hamburg on top. Isn't that beautiful? Already good enough to eat, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna spoon some of this lovely, lovely sauce over the Hamburg. We've got to put some of this grated daikon on top. Okay, so this is the Japanese style. They love to have the raw egg. When you're using raw egg, please buy pasteurized eggs. You can find it in the cold section of the supermarket. So pasteurized eggs means that they've already killed all whatever bacteria that might be there. So make sure you get pasteurized eggs. And this part, very carefully, egg on top. Ooh, look at that. Look nice, right? The egg just adds a richness to the whole Hamburg experience. And there you have Chicken Hamburg Dawn. Isn't it beautiful? You can do it at home, right? It's so simple. But of course, first we got to break the egg lah. The way they eat Hamburg is with a chopstick, so it's got to be tender enough to cut through with a chopstick, as you can see. Very nice. That sweetened soy sauce that has been cooking in the Hamburg has also absorbed some of the charred chicken flavor. It makes it really nice. So make sure you pick up a bottle of Kikkoman soy sauce and go try out this recipe. I wish you good success and happy holidays. Until next time, happy cooking.